Before we start the podcast, a big shout out to our sponsors and partners, Pro Apparel. They're making waves in the health and fitness industry at the moment. They've got some great gym wear for men and women, so be sure to check them out in the link below. Right, let's get cracking with the episode. Sim, Marriage and Muscles, episode 3. We're back.
We're back.
And we haven't killed each other yet. Or you haven't killed me, should I say. But yeah, episode 3. Let's do a bit of a recap. Let's go back to episode 2. Obviously, we were heading down to Manchester to watch Matt Rife, right?
Yes, we were.
I don't know what to think. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Obviously, his crowd work's great, as that's what he's known for, right? What did you think of it?
I thought Matt, he was really good. His crowd work is really good. His jokes are very good. I think we possibly didn't enjoy it as much as we could do,
Here we go.
given
I knew what was coming.
other things that had happened.
And what are these other things? Come on, let's get it out of the way.
Okay.
Throw me under the bus.
I mean, number one, the major thing that happened around the accommodation. So, I asked you to plan the accommodation, and in true fashion, based on our last episode, we left the accommodation to the very last minute.
I think I booked it at like 12 at night.
Yeah.
The night before.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And as always, we had a bit of an argument. So we weren't talking to each
I
other.
remember we were in bed the night before and I was about to quickly book something. Obviously, it was meant to be one with a bath, right? So I could do the cold plunge and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And for some reason, which I don't know why, I didn't look at the reviews, didn't look at anything, just looked at the pictures. And then I was like, "Oh, Sim, I'm gonna book this yet. Is it all right?" And then because I think you were in a mood, I think I must have pissed you off with something. And you're like, "Yeah, it's fine, just book it."
I didn't even look at it. I was just like, yeah, whatever.
And in my head, I was thinking, I think you want to be looking at what I'm about to do here. This is a pretty big decision for me. It's never usually me that's booking the stuff. But so yeah, I'd say you're semi to blame for letting me book the accommodation. But I'll let you talk about what the accommodation was like, the 5-star accom.
When we were driving up, obviously it didn't look like the best of places, but I just thought maybe it's one of those quirky places.
Oh, when we pulled up.
Yeah, I thought maybe it's one of those quirky places that are in a place that doesn't necessarily look the best, but inside it's amazing.
We had some really nice views though, opposite. No, I'm joking. It was like a rundown factory or something.
Yeah, it was
God
like
knows what it was.
a broken down, abandoned, massive building, and it was like graffiti all over it. But, you know...
Which, funnily enough, was our direct view from the room as well.
Yeah,
right?
but, you know, a lot of places, like, they kind of are in that type of neighbourhood, but you find, like, gems, hidden gems. I thought it would have been one of those. And then I think the first thing that sort of got to me was the receptionist. He was just so, like, not welcoming, just really...
It was a tough one, wasn't it? Because he wasn't, like, bluntly rude.
But he was rude.
Was he? I was trying to think. He was kind of, like, just getting it. He wasn't being, like, mean or anything, but he was kind of, like... just really cold, like just get it done and piss off, basically.
Yeah, I class that as rude.
I guess it was.
If you go to stay somewhere, whether it's a hotel or an Airbnb, you kind of expect the host to just be friendly.
Yeah.
And it had a bit of an odd smell because they were painting, and it looked like and that reception area.
Understatement, but yeah, carry on.
Yeah, in that reception area, it kind of looked a bit like a sixth form common room 20 years ago.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, like the carpet looked like that kind of school carpet. The furniture was that pushed together
even
kind
my
of
uni
like
accom
furniture.
was nicer downstairs, to be honest.
So that was kind of a bit like, okay then. Just not giving great vibes to the
What
start.
about the room? The beautiful room.
I mean... The room, oh God, Gian, that was just...
I think it was at that point I realised I'd fucked up.
it was just like the cleanliness as well of the room. Just
what did you spot that was like just initially straight away that was bad?
There was a general smell in that area. I didn't think it smelled that great. There was just like marks on the wall. Like everything just looked a bit...
It was just a room that, it's an apartment that hadn't been maintained or looked after in any way.
yeah.
I think the carpets were like fucking stained everywhere.
No, the carpets weren't stained.
I swear there was.
No, the carpets weren't stained, but I just didn't want to take my shoes off.
Or they were like fully like the carpet was like matted though, so it's like there was no cushion in it whatsoever.
Yeah,
and there was.
yeah.
Do you know what I remember? Because obviously we decided to man it out and stay there, and as I fell asleep at night, obviously I faced the other way in the bed, and I was facing the wall. I opened my eyes. There's fucking stains all over the wall. And I just kept silent. I was like, I'm not saying this to Sim. I was like, she's just going to fucking hate me even more. But I think the one thing was, and again, I blame you a little bit for this. If you kicked up more of a fuss with me, I would have moved.
Do you know what? I blame myself.
But do you know what?
Why was I being so nice to you about it?
You were being so positive. Probably knowing the fact that I was so pissed off with myself that you were like, no, you were like, you just got to look at it and laugh, ha, 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 whatever. And obviously you could tell I was fuming. But if you were less positive about it, I think I would have like got us to move, because I think I was semi thinking we're not going to be here much. Like, yeah, it's fine, we'll just stay. But I think it did make a difference, didn't it? Like, you know, it was awful.
It was very awful, and I kind of do blame myself. I don't know why I was so positive about.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to make you feel bad. Because I know
you should have. Because I probably would have moved us then.
But I just don't understand why you didn't check the reviews. That's like number one thing.
It's never usually me booking like the stuff.
But it's like
maybe
even if you don't
normally
book,
at least I know for next time to check the reviews.
All right, at least you know for next time.
The one of the like rank thing was.
Oh please, I don't want to know.
Now come on, might as well share now. Okay. This isn't for you. This is for the people listening.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was doing the cold plunge in the bath. And obviously I filled it up with ice, which I got from the local shop downstairs. And as I looked into the water, and again, I didn't tell you because I was like, I just didn't want to let you know how much of a fucking dump we were staying in. I was about to get in, and I just saw dirt floating at the bottom of the bath. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. But then, because I wasn't telling you, I literally got in it. But then the second I'd done the plunge, I just showered straight away. But yeah, it was pretty rank. But lesson learnt. To check the reviews next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you going to trust me with it again?
It's just because one of the things was that, you saying that you looked at the pictures and the pictures looked fine. I could have told you from a mile off looking at those pictures. I was like, no, this place isn't fine.
Pictures seemed all right to me.
No, they weren't.
I think they were the pictures when it was fully refurbed and looking nice.
No.
I must have. I'll get the pictures back up. I bet it was.
Because I think when you're going to stay somewhere else, and I think with us, when it comes to like a couple thing, you have to think, I want to, even if we're not going to be there that much, you want it to be a nice, comfortable, clean, comfy place.
I think I looked at it from a perspective of I'm going away with the lads or something.
Yeah, I genuinely, I was like,
yeah, I think I did.
Like,
that's where I went
you could possibly just man it out if you had some of your guy mates there. But you know, when you want to do like a romantic sort of getaway, you kind of do want to have a bit of luxury there.
Yeah, no, that's true. To be fair, I think even if I was with the lads, I would have struggled.
But yeah,
let's move on from.
No, but I mean that sort of set the tone to then the rest of it. But then we went to see Jimmy Carr the other week, and that was good. But we didn't stay anywhere. That was in Leicester.
Oh yeah, but front row seats. So that was the first time I've ever sat front row for a comedian, and it just for me completely changed the experience of being. And again, I don't know whether it's just that it changed the experience of from that perspective because I was in the front row, or whether he was as good as he was, and obviously because you got roasted as well. So I don't know if that made it any better.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that was fun.
That was good though.
We got heckled, didn't we, by Jimmy Carr?
You got.
Yeah, I got. Well, I
don't think it's classed as a heckle if it's coming back from the comedian. I think it's only a heckle if it's from the audience, right?
He roasted me then. Okay.
Yeah, you got roasted. Get it right.
Yeah. So the joke was at the beginning of the show, he did a joke about married couples. He asked you know, who in the audience is married? And we put our hands up, and because we were sitting front row, he saw us, and then like he kind of picked on us. Then gave us a bit of a lecture on marriage. But I was so starstruck that this guy is literally looking at me and talking to me. I did not hear anything he said. I just kind of laughed. The whole of the audience laughed. I kind of laughed, and I was like, I don't know what he said, but okay.
As soon as he started talking to you, my heart started beating really fast. I was like, please don't fucking talk to me. Please don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't roast me either.
Yeah. And then he did another joke later on in the show, and it was basically around when, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it as well. So when other men compliment you about your wife, saying that you're lucky, you're a lucky man.
You remember this a lot better than I do, because I can just about remember. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so he said when other men compliment you and they're talking about your wife, saying that you're a lucky man, they basically want to sleep with your wife.
Yeah, that's fucking true, you know.
Really?
Which I don't think I've ever said that. Do you know what? Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually said that myself.
Well, if that's what you think, then I'm glad you've never said that to anyone.
In essence, what is the guy trying to say? You tell me then.
Well,
he's trying to say, "Oh, you've got a very attractive wife." There is what someone's trying to say.
I don't know about that. It could be.
Well,
what about personality and heart? Does that not come into it?
People don't usually wait for the person having a conversation. Like oh, by the way, you're really lucky there. They usually say it at a first glance. Don't you think? Come on, let's be honest. It's about the attraction side of it. But yeah, go on. Okay. So what happened?
Yeah, well, back to the joke then. And then he started going through the front row, and then going one by one to all of the couples. Oh, sir, you're very lucky. Sir, you're very lucky. Then he got to us, and he was like, mate, you're not lucky. And then he looked at me and he goes, the last thing you look like you've been fucked by is your genetics. And I wanted to die.
You took it well. I
laughed. You know what? Obviously, I had to laugh.
You could clearly tell. Obviously, he just. It
was a joke.
Yeah. It was a joke. It was a joke. You got to take it in a light-hearted fashion. But when he said that, I was like, do I laugh? Do I not laugh? Like, what do I do here? Like, if I laugh, I'm condoning what he's just said. So I was there like semi like I think I just put my head down or something.
I wanted to like die. I just wanted to
it was funny.
You
took it well, and I think he said that straight away, right? He was like, thank God. He's like, you laughed.
Yeah.
But I think that was good.
No, but he was. I really enjoyed his show because all throughout the show he was wanting people to sort of interact,
heckle him.
He's like, "Come on, give it to me." But
it was a bit of a dead audience.
Yeah,
I think including us, we didn't fucking.
I really wanted to say things at some point, but I was too scared.
Yeah, fair play to the people that do. I thought, especially if you're in the front row, because he's got that eye.
He was making eye contact with us quite a few times throughout the show. Yeah.
And he probably already had something in his mind to rip me about. So I was like, I'm not going down there.
What made me laugh was because we've been to quite a few comedian like shows, and you've never really come away and said, yeah, I really enjoyed that. And this time you did really enjoy seeing Jimmy Carr. And what was the reasons? Because one of the things you said to me was that, oh yeah, I just loved that we were front row and we got to see it properly. And I'm just like,
obviously you can't always be on the front row. Yeah, obviously I know that, but it does change the experience. Obviously,
no, yeah, it does.
Makes a big difference. But I think I've always liked Jimmy Carr anyway. Anyway, this isn't a comedy podcast; it's a health and fitness podcast. So let's go back to health and fitness. How's our training been the past month? Or should we start with you? Or should we start with me?
We can start with me and then we can go on to you. Okay.
How do you think your training's been?
It's not been very good for the past, not this week, but the past couple of weeks beforehand, because there's been a multitude of things. Like, I wasn't feeling well. I'm pretty sure I had some form of COVID.
For about a week you were ill.
It was a week, but it lingered on for around 2 weeks. And even though I tried going to the gym, I felt really weak. I was feeling like dizzy as well. And then in the midst of that...
You've lost a fair bit of weight as well, right?
Yeah, because then in the midst of that, like, work was blowing up. It's never been that busy before. I was feeling quite like stressed out about that. and then stuff like family stuff was happening, and that was getting quite on top of me too. So there was quite a lot of moving factors, which felt quite crap about.
It can get overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
When there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
There's
and
a lot of plates moving.
yeah, and then I found myself like slipping into like a really bad habit of I was too busy to like just have lunch. So I'd find myself working crazy like times, and like it's 2:00 and I haven't had my lunch yet, or stuff was happening with family and it was really stressing me out, and I couldn't like think clearly. So it's been pretty crap, I had to say, and I feel like I'm starting from scratch again. So this week I've been trying to get back into the routine. Went to netball. Netball was difficult because usually I play centre, and I kind of switch off like in the second half with another position. But with centre, it's a lot of running. I found it really difficult running. I was so
Which
out
is
of breath.
normal when you've been off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Right?
so I was getting really bad like stitches. Like, that was quite toll taking. And then going back into the gym, I've been finding that I've had to have a lot more rest breaks because I'm feeling dizzy. And that's obviously because I'm trying to push it hard with the weight, or even if it's like high reps, so I'm trying to take it a bit easy, slow back in. And like this period of inactivity, it's actually my knees. I've got grandma knees, like they're hurting. So yeah, I'm just trying to get back into this. So
Obviously, I think it's important, especially when you're ill. Like you said, you need to take time out. Then, like, 'cause there's only so much you can kind of push through it if you're not well. Especially there's definitely been a lot going around past few weeks. So with that, it's uncontrollable. It's out of your control. But you said obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on. We said this on a previous podcast. It's been like one of our most busy years, right? We've got so much going on. A lot of plates that are spinning in the background at the moment, and obviously you still got your everyday stuff, like your family stuff going on as well, which you're trying to manage. And you said, like you said, one of the things you said to me is you're a bit of a emotional eater as well, right?
like when I feel anxious or there's a lot of worry, when I feel a lot of worry,
when there's a lot on your mind,
then I start feeling a bit sick.
Yeah,
like
I didn't notice that you'd slipped into that the past month until I think we were eating. Then all we were having was like a little salmon, and you could barely like have half of it. And you're like asking me if I wanted it. I didn't even think of it in the moment, to be fair. It was only as I kind of self-reflected. But obviously, one thing that I say to people is, and it is easier said than done. Like I always kind of like say it to you that whether it be work or anything else that's going on in life, it doesn't matter if you haven't got your health, because all that stuff. If you're falling to bits health wise, that stuff's not going to be there, right? So if looking back, is there anything you would do differently, or because I'm sure we'll be in similar situations again, is there anything that you would do differently, like diet wise, or what would you do different?
I think as well because I was ill, my appetite went, when you're not feeling well. But in terms of the worry and the stress, it's definitely, it doesn't matter. You need to make sure that you're sticking to your eating routine. And if work is busy, okay, work is work. But it's like you say, that stuff is always going to be there. You need to make sure you're looking after yourself.
You need to be selfish.
Yeah, you have to be selfish because in the grand scheme of things, is that important? What's more important?
Because
your health is more important.
And in a way, it's not even being selfish either, because it's enabling you to be the best person. You can looking after yourself to show up better for other people as well, rather than you falling apart from all directions. And I'd say that's probably, I don't know whether it's a good strength to have, is that I am selfish. Like I was saying to you earlier, no matter what's going on, try and keep your food and your intake a staple of your life, no matter what's going on around you. And I think slowly over time I've been able to do that. Like I think even us, if usually, like say if we've had a big argument, obviously you do lose your appetite, probably like, oh, fuck's sake. And I'll just make sure I'm eating, even if I'm in a fucking mood and my appetite's gonna be off. Yeah, I'll just get it down me. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I am an emotional eater though. That's the thing. So I've got to try and understand that from your perspective. I think.
But a lot of people, they struggle with that because you'd be surprised how much emotions are linked to eating, whether it's under eating or overeating. So many people.
Emotion.
I know you don't, but so many other people.
Not saying it's a good thing, but I'm just trying to think, like, if I'm feeling sad or angry, do I eat anything? Do you think you should feel emotion when you, when you eat?
No, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing that, you know, you're unaffected by things that are happening in your
How would you
life.
try not to have that link then between eating based on how you're feeling? How would you?
Because
how would you alter that now?
the reason why I'm sort of put off is because the worry makes me feel sick. That worry in your mind, it actually chemically alters what your mind is thinking. It sends signals to your stomach, and it actually.
So is it more so about first controlling the mindset?
Yeah,
first?
I think it's more about you to calm yourself and think.
So
you know,
is that the one thing
and
you change?
Recognize the patterns. Yeah, number one is about recognizing the patterns of when you're slipping into that. So when work is getting busy, when you know family stuff is propping up, notice, okay, the cycle is happening again.
Yeah.
Number one, that's notice when it's happening. And number two, yes, you might not feel like eating, or you might feel like you need to eat more, but you need to have that self-discipline and say, okay, this is a cycle that happens quite a lot. I want to do better. I want to be better, and I have been making good progress. Try hard not to slip into that bad habit. So I'm going to try to do that. So going forward, recognize the cycles of when I start to feel overwhelmed. I think it's a lot break that behavior pattern.
I think it's a lot of self-awareness, isn't it, as well? And sometimes when you're in the moment, you get so caught up in it, you probably don't even realize you're starting to.
No, I don't. No, but because it happens so gradually. You're like, oh, you know,
like I said,
I've eaten lunch late this time. I'll get back to it.
Your focus is on the other stuff you're worrying about.
Your focus is on the other stuff that is happening that you forget to like look after yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's because there is so much focus on the other stuff that you start worrying about, and that intense focus, you're not even thinking about food is secondary. I think after that, and I think that's what needs to.
But it works the other way. Food is secondary, but sometimes food is the first priority because people overeat as well. So because emotional eaters, it works the other way. Whether you undereat or overeat, it works that other way as well. So people just need to, recognize when when the cycle is happening, and really put those steps in place to make sure you're still continuing on the path that you're meant to be and not slip into those bad habits. So I am going to try. I
think you're back to gym now anyway, right? Like getting back into your routine.
I'm trying to get that. That's the thing. Like it's the routine as well. I really think that routine helped me when I was doing well, keeping in a good.
I say this.
But life happens as well, and stuff. Sometimes your routine is thrown off, but you can't let the routine completely go away.
I say to people, routine and structure is so key. And you're right, there are things that pop up. But again, I feel like that can be used for people as a get out to completely fall off their routine and structure. I think the one thing that I've become good at is, say if you fall out of routine slightly or you've had an event, it's a case of how quickly can you get back on. Don't just stay off routine now. It's about how quickly can you get back on. And just doing those same things over and over again, having routine and structure, it's crucial, I think, in terms of what you need. And that helps with discipline as well. It helps you form good habits over time. So, you'll be fine. You're back at gym now, and I'll be putting plenty of food in front of you. So, don't worry.
But then, in that, what couples, people, there's a lot of us that are married, a lot of us that have boyfriends and girlfriends. I think one of the other things that we were discussing is within a couple, you should support each other. And when does the onus switch from supporting each other when you take your own responsibility? So I know you're saying that you'll put a lot of food in front of me, but is that your responsibility to put food in front of me? Shouldn't it be me that is?
Yeah, I think everyone needs help at some point in their lives, right? I think as much as you should have kind of self accountability and responsibility for keeping yourself as well as possible, sometimes people do go through their down points, like you've been through yours, I've been through mine, and sometimes I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a helping hand.
No.
But if there's a constant reliance on somebody, that's when I think, that's when it gets into a territory that isn't good. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with a bit of a helping hand,
No,
some encouragement.
We're
But I
there
think,
to support each other.
exactly. But I just think when it gets to a certain point, that person needs to take that accountability on themselves, because, you can't keep getting, like.
You can't just keep falling into this bad this bad space.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, because as well, it might sound like I'm like turning to like anorexia or like an eating disorder. I do not have an eating disorder.
Right.
It's nothing like that. It's just, life. Life happened. I wasn't feeling well, and I just wasn't looking after myself as much as I normally do.
Do you know what? I think this is the least we've trained together in the past year.
Yeah, because
as well,
I was
right?
out.
Yeah,
I was out
all of
as
our
well.
training routines have obviously started falling on different days when you were back in as well.
Have you enjoyed training without me?
I don't enjoy it, or I don't not enjoy it. For me, training's just training. I again, even with training, I don't think of it in an emotional way. It's just something that I need to do, and I think that this month hasn't been an amazing training month for me. It's just been a training month. I wouldn't even know if I call it a good training month, but for me, this month has been, especially as the weather's changed as well, it's just been a case of turn up, get it done kind of thing. There were quite a few days where I really couldn't be arsed this month. I don't know why, and I don't know whether it is a weather change. But again, that's for me, that's what it was. It's about just trying to stay in routine as much as possible. I don't think my eating's been great. Do you know what? Yeah, maybe my eating could have been better this month. I think it's been okay. It's not been great. But my training's been all right. I definitely wouldn't say it's been 100%, but I think that's fine when it's a lifestyle and you're training week after week, month after month, year after year. You're not going to be at peak performance every week and every month. So I think I'm allowing myself to have, whether you call it deload sessions, or I'm just maybe taking my foot off the gas a little bit, because I know I hit it hard for like quite a number of months over summer. So sometimes, I just want to go get the body moving. I'm not looking to hit any PBs or just keep getting, because you can keep trying to get stronger, but eventually your body's only going to allow so much. I think that's how my training's been. Is again just trying to stay in routine as much as I can, because obviously we have had a lot going on. So just trying to keep that routine.
Do you have any sort of like goals at the moment with your fitness training right now?
A couple of people have asked me this, like, what are my goals?
Like, you don't need to have this like a specific goal, but right now.
No, I do have a goal. Like, straight away, I can tell other people as well, and it's probably not what people would think. My goal now is longevity and good health, good general health and well-being. It didn't used to be. My goal probably used to be aesthetics, have a six-pack, this, that, and the other. I just think now, because I'm in reasonable shape now, and I have abs now, but I think that's just a byproduct of me doing all of the right things and having good habits and things like that. That sometimes when I do eat a bit of crap food, all of my good habits outweigh the crap food that I eat, and it's enabled me to stay in decent shape. So my goal is definitely longevity and general health. Well, but do you know what it is? Because I see it so much of people as they're getting older. Obviously, I'm 31 now. People that are starting to struggle with their health even at this age, and I'm just thinking it's a long life to live, fingers crossed, and I don't want to be getting to 40, 50, 60, 70 years of age. I've neglected my health. I've got other people then whose care I require, and I'm having to lean on them. I want to be able to be independent and look after myself as I get older with age. And yeah, I always like a challenge as well. I always like being different. And yeah, I do want to be quite fit for the age that I am. So yeah, I'd say that's what my goal is. Nothing performance based, I'd say, which may have been the case to some extent during my 20s and teens, but not now. So yeah. Oh, one thing that has been good actually, before I forget, we used to eat out a hell of a lot, right? Takeaways and stuff. I don't know whether you could even call it eating out. A lot of like delivery and stuff. It wouldn't always be bad food. It would be Nando's or like something else. But we've cut down on that massively, right? Obviously, we're trying to be more conscious with our money and what we do with it. Because I think at one point we were eating out a lot, and delivery was getting rinsed.
Yeah, like we could probably have been delivery's best customers at some point.
It was quite bad, but it adds up, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. So we've been consciously trying to stop the takeaway and just make food at home. Obviously, we've saved a lot of money doing that. And you know what? Food, although Nando's and KFC, it just tastes so great. Why does it taste so great? Because it's got a lot of like addictive stuff in it, which isn't good for you.
Yeah.
And
weren't you saying that to me about ketchup yesterday?
You eat so much ketchup.
Ketchup is my kryptonite. I will admit that.
So bad.
Do you know what? I actually thought the other day, when's the last time I had a meal without any sauce? Like whether it be ketchup or brown sauce. I was like, I can't. Like that's crazy. Like how reliant I've become
and the worst
on
thing
sauces
is,
and ketchup.
You'll finish it, but you'll never replace it.
All right, don't need to dig at me for household
but then
problems right now.
Me or anyone else, like.
Okay, I will replace the ketchup bottles.
Because I hardly ever have ketchup. So the rarity that I want the ketchup, if we've like had some spring rolls samosa, I want some ketchup with it. The other day we had some samosa. I couldn't eat any ketchup with it.
That was quite funny, to be fair. The one time you wanted ketchup and I rinsed the whole bottle. Don't worry. I've stocked up now. I bought a couple of bottles.
There's so much sugar in ketchup. You know that?
There's so much sugar. Like that's what I mean. Like you were telling me about the addictive stuff that's in there. I was thinking about it, I was like, shit. I was thinking about the feeling of before I'm about to eat. And I genuinely feel like there's something in me that's like salivating,
you're addicted to it.
Needing that sauce with it.
It's the sugar. It's the high sugar content in there. It's so addictive. And you have gotten into a very bad place.
What if I took it down to zero sugar ketchup?
Genuinely, Gian, like I think that you should just stop eating ketchup. I think one of your next challenges should be to stop eating ketchup.
Yeah, maybe it should be. I'll do it for a week.
A week. Do you remember that time when you were saying that about chocolate? Because you love sugar, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you always have to have like a small chocolate after dinner.
Yeah.
And then me and Anita, we were teasing you, saying, oh, you wouldn't be able to just like cut, your chocolates out, and you were like, yeah, it's all about willpower. I can do it. You couldn't last a day.
The funny thing is, I think me and Mum said, oh yeah, we'll do it together. We'll cut it out together. Yeah, I think it got to like 2-3 days later. And still going strong. And then, yeah, I couldn't hold the line. I was like, yeah, I just had a chocolate earlier.
I don't think you managed to even do it for a day. It was.
Do you know what? One thing I did have the other day, which I think I could manage and get through without having like normal chocolate, is dark chocolate. And this one was like 90% cocoa. And I think having that, would keep me going. I think.
Okay.
And that's not too bad, right? Dark chocolate.
No, I don't think dark chocolate is that bad. So no.
I can do it.
Okay.
For how long, I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see. But one of the things I wanted to make sure that we made time for this on the podcast is there's a new weight loss drug that's out called Ozempic.
Yeah.
So I've been hearing about this quite a bit, and it's meant to be this miracle weight loss drug.
Yeah.
And it's meant to apparently be the magic bullet to weight loss, right?
Yeah. So
how much have you heard about it?
So apparently, initially, it's supposed to be a treatment for type 2 diabetes.
Oh, is that why it was first made?
Type 2 diabetes, because what it does is it regulates your blood sugar levels, so it doesn't spike unnecessarily, and like then you feel like you need to eat more, and it suppresses your appetite. So essentially, that's what it does. So and now it's moved into the realms of helping it like weight loss management. So it's targeted for obese people and overweight people. And it's come to the UK. Obviously, there's quite a lot of celebrities that have used it. Do you remember Fat Joe?
Oh, he used it. He used it, did he?
He's lost a lot of weight, considering how fat
I
he
do remember
was
seeing.
back
I
in
didn't
the
know
day.
that's what he took.
Yeah, have you seen him now?
Yeah.
Like he's lost a lot of weight. Oprah Winfrey's done it. Christina Aguilera looks amazing.
How do you know these celebrities have done it?
They've all come out. They've openly said it. They've said that it's changed their life to the extent of whether they're using it now and whatnot. Fat Joe, he said that he had been using it, but he's also been trying to control his portion sizes, like more exercise as well. Because I think personally, when I heard about it, I just thought, wow, an injection to.
Oh, is it an injection?
It's an injection, yeah. Okay. But you can get it in tablet form as well. But it's a different name for that. But Ozempic and Monrajo, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the one that's an injection form. When I first heard about it, and I don't know what your thoughts were, but I was just like, wow, an injection to lose weight. That sounds amazing, but it sounds scary. It's like... Usually weight management...
Do you think it's a good or a bad thing?
Well, it comes down to... I think the problem in the first place is just education around eating correctly and the right foods, and the importance around exercise. And the supermarkets, they've always got deals on for like the most crappiest type of food going. So there's that point. But then... Also, a lot of people, they've had, whether it's depression, trauma, like emotional eating, and just like some people just genuinely just had a shit life, shit upbringing, shit knowledge about food, and they turn to that sort of overeating. So, like that's the problem that you need to tackle. Number one, I think when it comes to a point where we have all these issues in life, and the way to just, make it go away is have an injection, have a pill. I think that's when you start, the lines are blurred. But I really think for now, it's tackling the short-term problem. Yeah, amazing. Because if I was a 30, 20 stone woman and I could not move out of my seat or do anything... I think, that's really going to help because it kickstarts that weight loss so that you can actually start moving around and, doing stuff. The side effects, when I was reading into it, it didn't seem that bad. But when I say that bad, it depends on what your view of that bad is. So it's mainly nausea, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain. I think those side effects in comparison to someone who is obese, literally can't get out of their chair, move around. I think that's an okay side, like cost to pay, if that makes sense. What scares me is that there's no long-term research around this drug. What happens in the future to these people that take this? I know that a lot of people, the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't allow anyone to have it if it wasn't safe. But I think you really need to do your own research into it and know whether that's the right thing for you to take. Because where I think that it's going to start, the lines will get blurred is when people that don't really need it are going to start taking it. People that might be slightly overweight because they want to lose a bit of weight, then they start taking it and jumping to that alternative. Would you take it? So say if you were
What are you trying to say?
no, if you were 30 to 20 stone, would you take it? I would. I think I would.
Yeah, I think if you're that weight and you've got no knowledge, because if you're that weight, you've probably got very little knowledge of health, fitness, and diet and things like that.
You probably physically can't actually get
if
up.
it gave you the kickstart, yeah, in the short term, it would help. But if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is what I think. And there's no such thing as a shortcut. So yeah,
Paybacks come at some point.
there will be a side effect in some form. There will be. There has to be.
Whether it's now or 20 years down the line.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not just talking from a medical standpoint. I'm just talking from a mindset standpoint as well. If you haven't built the mindset and the good habits and the discipline and the knowledge around eating the right foods, how to eat the right foods, when to eat the right foods, how much exercise to do, how many calories to be consuming, how many calories to be burning. If you don't know any of this stuff, all you're going to do is after you've had the injection and it wears off or whatever the end of the course is, you're just going to fall right back into where you were, or you're going to become heavily reliant on this drug. And that's where obviously you'll have to see for yourself over time what are the side effects of it. But
people have become addicted to it.
They have already.
Sharon Osbourne, she's taking it. I don't know for what reason. She looks like a skeleton. She doesn't look like she needs to be taking it.
Yeah.
And she's addicted to it.
Yeah, I can definitely see how it would be, but for me, there's so much value to gain in the biggest part of it. Of weight loss is usually the journey. Everything you lose, it's not about the end result. It's about everything you learn in between, not just about health and fitness, but about yourself as well. And you become proud of yourself in that time. Because you tell me, like, what would you be proud of? You losing the weight naturally, in the right way, doing the right things, educating yourself, or just injecting yourself with something that makes you lose weight? Or what would make you feel more proud of yourself?
I mean, yeah, that's a really valid point. But a lot of people, they probably don't care or value that. They want the end result without, having to work for it.
And to be fair, of course, there's people with medical conditions and stuff, and people who are, say if they are like morbidly obese and they've let themselves kind of get to a state where they are 20, 30 stone, and that could be for a number of reasons.
It could be genetics as well.
Not knocking those people. So they may be at the point where, they may need that kickstart. So I'm not being judgmental. Like if anyone did need to take it, but I just think it's something you need to be very careful with. I feel like if you can combine Ozempic with educating yourself about food, and doing it in a sustainable way, then for me that's the magic bullet for those people, combining all those things. But it can't just be one. It can't just be Ozempic for me.
Yeah, because apparently there's been quite a few studies with this drug. A lot of users find that after a year of using it, when they've come off of it, they actually regain 2/3 of their original body weight.
See what I mean? Like,
so you haven't actually changed the habit.
Yeah.
So there's that, but also like that feeling of nausea, feeling sick. I know it doesn't sound like, oh, that's the most biggest and scariest side effect, but if you're genuinely feeling sick every single day, you're walking around feeling sick all the time. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that even more tolling on your mind? Yeah. Because I know when I feel sick, I don't want to do anything. I feel like crap. I just want to be sat at home. I just want to be in my own comfy zone. Do you have energy? Do you have positivity?
Do you know what? I'd like to speak to someone who has. Do you obviously won't name any names? Do you know anyone that's directly who's taken it?
No, but I was speaking to was it Grant the other day?
Jim.
Yeah, and he said that possibly he knew a few people, so maybe.
It'd be good to hear directly from people just what their thoughts are on it and how it's making them feel.
Yeah, do you know as well?
It's hard to get hold of though, isn't it? This Ozempic drug.
It's being rolled out. Well, it's actually.
Well, it won't be soon, I guess.
The government are doing a trial on 3,000 obese unemployed people. So the NHS will be providing the this drug, but it's not called Ozempic. It's called Manjaro. It's the same, but it has a different active ingredient, but has the same effect.
Is that a good study to do then, do you think?
So what they're doing is they're trialing out on these 3,000 obese, unemployed people because essentially they want to get them back into work. The government are saying that, the weight issue is taking a toll on the NHS. It's costing the NHS millions and millions of pounds a year, and it could be better spent, and the resource could be better spent as well. So they want to get these people their weight down so that they can contribute to the economy and go back to work. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's the fact that the motivation is to get them back into work and good for the economy and take the pressure off the NHS. Obviously, take the pressure off the NHS, and all those other points are valid, good points. But I just feel, where's the humanity? Where's the actual? Why doesn't the government actually want us to be healthy? Yeah. Why aren't they looking? Because we want you to be healthy.
I think if they really gave a shit, they'd stop putting all this shit food on in supermarkets and sort of stop pushing all these bad foods in front of us, which they know are bad for us.
Why aren't they paying for PTs and more education around food? Putting, investing money into schools to bring in nutritionists for kids.
It's just a quick fix, I think, by the government. And it's
actually quite. I know it's a bit conspiracy, but I don't trust these pharmaceutical companies. Yeah. It's actually a pharmaceutical company.
It's all about this. It's all about money.
The government aren't backing it, the trial. It's a pharmaceutical company that's going to be putting $3 billion.
You think about it. What do they need to keep running? They need people to buy the stuff that they produce.
Yeah.
So
don't worry.
That's what their main goal is at the end of the day.
Yeah. Don't worry. Keep eating the crap. Keep not exercising. Buy Ozempic. Buy Manjaro, and you'll be fine. No, it seems a bit evil. I understand in the short term, for people that need it, is going to be so helpful for them. In the long term, where does that lead us as a society, that we need to take these type of drugs in order to lose weight? I don't see how that can be beneficial.
Yeah, on the topic of, to be fair, it's not for any weight loss reason or anything like that. I'm in the midst of a 48-hour fast, aren't I?
Yes.
Which is something I've just, obviously we were talking about my goal earlier as well, and my goal is longevity, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard countless good things about fasting and the benefits it has. I think the max I've took it to before was probably about 20 hours. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about, especially with its links to longevity and just good internal health, and even things like eyesight and kind of mental clarity and all those type of things. So I thought, I even had Ben on the podcast from Box Raw, and he was telling me about the eye injury he had, a detached retina, where they said to him, your eye's gone, mate. You're going to need surgery, this, that, and the other. And I think he did, because he heard about fasting and he did an intentional, I think it was maybe a 3 to 5 day fast, and went back to the doctors, and they were absolutely stunned that his eye had started to heal itself, which is, from everything that I'm hearing, I feel like your body goes into some form of reset and healing mode. Obviously, I don't know the science behind it, and this is the thing with me. I'll listen to some stuff, and maybe I should become more clued up about the science behind it, but I'm more of a doer. I just prefer trialing the stuff on myself and seeing how my body reacts, and doing it that way. And do you know what? I was going to do this so long ago, but I just kept putting it off because of the inconvenience. Even now, I'm already regretting doing it because I'm so hungry already, and I'm only barely 15 hours in. And but yeah, so I thought, let's try it. Let's see how it goes, and maybe I can do it once a month. I'd like to do it once
a month. 48 hours once a month.
Yeah, I think so.
Every month.
Shit, yeah. Is that a bit too much? Or should I do bi-monthly? I'll see.
I don't know. I think you do need to look more into the research about it, because could that be, although it's beneficial fasting, could that be detrimental if you're doing it too much?
I still don't think once a month is enough to be detrimental, and it's only 48 hours. I'm still having water and electrolytes, right? So I think the body can handle a lot more than people think. Like when I told Dad I was doing the 48-hour fasting, he looked at me like I was about to jump off a mountain and like do the most daring of challenges. I was like, it's a 48-hour fast. I think it is going to be very tough, but our body should be able to handle that. Obviously not telling anyone and everyone to do it, because I know there's certain people with health conditions and whatnot, but yeah, maybe I'll get you to try it with me on the next one as well.
A 48-hour, I don't know. I mean, fasting is really good because I, at one point, I was on this sort of like 5-2 diet where you eat normally for 5 days.
Oh, is that when you lost a hell of a lot of weight? Unintentional?
Yeah.
Was it unintentional?
It was unintentional because my goal wasn't to lose weight. So
you were dieting harder, because I remember you were prepping your food.
Yeah.
So, salmon. It's basically just protein and veg and fruit you were eating, 0 carbs.
No, I did have some carbs because I was having roti.
Like little rations of carbs.
No, I was having roti as well. And with my lunch, I'd have potato, sweet potato, veg and salmon.
How many rotis did you have? Like 1?
2. I'd have 2 rotis. So a couple of years ago, about 2016. So that's
we
almost
young,
10 years ago.
Yeah, we were early 20s, I think.
Yeah. I got this this workout guide. I think it was Kayla Itness. I think that's how you say her name. A bikini body guide.
Yeah.
And I saw on Instagram these great toned figures, and I really, really wanted to sort of like look like that. I wanted to have abs, and I wanted to, have a curvy bum, and I wanted to look toned. I wanted to have that sort of bikini body look. So I bought the guide, and it was a lot of circuit training. So it was circuit training mixed with lists. So the low impact exercise.
You became really good at those circuits.
I was so good at those circuits, like to the point that you're so good at circuits, but I was beating you. I was doing
I won't go that far.
I was doing the burpees. I was completing the circuits. I gave you a run for your money.
Get out, sorry, go on. I think you were at one point when I first started back, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, because then at some point you started joining me in those circuits, and
Yeah, I do remember, even when I was doing it after a couple of weeks, I was like, how is she doing it at this pace?
Yeah.
You got really good at it.
I was doing the exercising really well. And at first, like, my eating was sort of regular, but then I got into this dieting habit of where I was restricting my calories. I was doing so much exercise, but not eating enough. And I actually ended up losing so much weight. I got to roughly, I was nearly 7 stone. And for my height, I'm 5'5". 7 stone is just, it's underweight.
Do you
it's
know what?
Underweight, essentially.
And
I lost my boobs, I lost my ass. And yeah, I got so skinny, and people around me everyone kept saying, "Oh, you've lost so much weight. You've lost too much weight."
Did I ever say it to you?
You never
Was
did.
I just that oblivious to it? I feel like I knew, but because I saw you so much, it was very gradual. I was seeing it every day. So I don't feel like it hits you as bluntly as if someone hasn't seen you for a month and see you a month later and you've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Then it's a shock, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I feel like with me, I was seeing you pretty much every day. So it was very gradually. That's my excuse anyway. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention or I was being oblivious, but that's what my excuse is. But yeah, I remember you lost a hell of a lot of weight, and it's because you were training so intensely as well. But yeah, I don't think that was healthy what you did.
No, it wasn't healthy whatsoever.
But you learned, right? You learned that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is the best way to learn, is by doing things. Sometimes you'll get it wrong.
Exactly. I have so much more of an understanding around eating and exercising as well. You really need to fuel your body in order to do the exercise.
Yeah.
I didn't need to restrict my calories because there was never an intention to lose weight. I wanted to have those toned abs and, you know, have the curvy bum and whatnot. But that, for me at that point, I didn't need to lose the weight to get that. I just needed to make sure I was having more protein intake and eating the right foods and doing the exercise along with it, not restricting the calories. But yeah, you live and you learn.
So did the pressure come from like social media and stuff, would you say?
I think that there is a lot of that. No, there definitely is a lot of pressure. You look on Instagram or TikTok, and you see these girls with amazing bodies, and a lot of the time, you know, whether they've got a filter on them, they've been edited, you know, the turkey bum lift, the turkey teeth, you know, the stuff like that. It's not real. It's unattainable, and it puts pressure on you, and you feel like you need to look a certain way. So you exercise hard, you diet hard, but you're never really gonna get to that place. I think right now I'm really happy, and I don't think I was happy with who I was and how I looked, but with hindsight and with age, I think as well, you start to appreciate your body and know that, yeah, I might not look like Kim Kardashian or whatnot, but there is something unique about me. And, you know, there's times where I've said to you, oh, I don't like my nose or something, and like, oh, I wish I could get like a nose job. And then you're like, no, why would you want to get that same nose that all these girls are having? Like, you just look like them. You don't look like you. We all look different for a reason. Yeah. And, you know, changing your hair, like having a different haircut, you know, changing like the way you do your makeup or what, it might not necessarily suit you. What you have is unique, and you really need to just learn to do the best with what you have, because what you have is what other people don't have. And we're always going to look at other people and say, oh, I wish I had that. Straight hair people are going to look at curly hair people, oh, I wish I had their hair, and vice versa. You know, what you have is good as well. And yeah, I know now what I have is good, and just work with that, because once you start working with what you have and appreciating that, I think that's when the best of you comes out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I agree. I think.
Do guys feel pressure?
I think maybe at a younger age, but I think as with age, it should. I think your self-awareness increases, and I know it has for me. Like, obviously, like I said, when I was younger, I wanted to be big. I wanted to have abs, and it was all about that's the typical look that everyone goes for. That's what people like. But I think as I've got older, obviously your priorities change. You become self-aware of what you're doing. Are you doing it for the right reasons? And that's one thing I always ask myself when I'm doing something. Am I doing it for the right reasons? And I can very quickly, as long as you've got some good values and you know who you are as a person, you know whether that is for the right reason, what you're doing, and whether you should be doing it or whether you shouldn't, whether that aligns to your values as well. So I feel like now I'm able to quite quickly determine the type of person that I want to be, or whether I am, if I'm looking to get bigger or if I'm looking to lose weight, is that what I, Gian, should be doing? So I think a lot of it comes with age though, as well, that kind of self-awareness, especially with social media as well. I think I'm good at detaching from social media. Obviously, I have to use it quite actively, so I have to be very careful that I don't start going down the comparison route.
Yeah.
Because for a split second, I may, but I think everyone does. But you need to always scale back and know that it is social media, it is highlight reels, and every single person on social media has problems behind social media that are going on. Not everyone is.
No one's perfect.
No one is. Yeah. No,
and
no
you
one's
might look at someone and think, oh, you know, they're really good looking. They got a great life. They got this car. They've got that house or whatever. No, everyone has problems.
I wish that everyone does have like a great life that they are living, and they're living it the best that they can. But I think it's inevitable in this life that you're always going to face, without going too deep, I think you're always going to face some kind of suffering or pain in your life. And I think that's why you really need to make sure you are resilient enough to live a life that is going to be a life where you are going to face pain, turbulence, uncertainty. And like you said, you went through a period of being a bit overwhelmed and anxious. And for me, it's about learning to deal with those situations better as we get older. So using that experience of what we've been through and learning from it. Because I think you can keep going through those things, and the one thing you don't want to do is keep reacting to it the same way, I guess, because otherwise what are you taking from it going forward? So
you're not growing, you're just stuck in that cycle.
So I think age comes into it a lot, right? As we get older, we learn, and as much as we didn't want to listen to our parents as we were younger, there's a reason they're telling us stuff, right? It's because they've been through it.
No, but then, you know, as we said before, when I went through that crazy dieting experience, sometimes you got to go through it to learn. We all have to learn.
Actually, no, that's a good point. You do have to go through it sometimes. Someone could tell you as much as they want, but until you've experienced it and seen it for yourself, you're not going to understand. And sometimes, a big part of life is failing, and it's messing up, and it's making mistakes, but then it's about how you can overcome all those mistakes as well, and how you can learn from it. So that's definitely a big part. But we've absolutely whizzed through this podcast. Coming towards the end now. I've still got a couple of things that we could have spoke to, but I think let's save that for the next episode, because I think before we know it, we'll be back. But episode 3, Marriage and Muscles, still going strong. Woo-hoo. Can we make it to episode 4?
Unless we kill each other.
I'm enjoying it though. It's good. It's something. It's something different. Do you know what? I think it gives us a bit of a chance to debrief as well, and self-reflect. I feel like this is a form of self-reflection for us.
It is,
to look at our own training, our own eating habits.
I'd love to hear from the people that watch this about their training and their habits.
No,
have you gone through something that, you know, you've tried and it was horrendous, and now you know better, or whether that's something that's working 100%. For you? Are you an emotional eater as well? Whether that's overeating or undereating, how do you deal with that? Because I'd love to be able to, you know, reflect on my own experiences and learn from others too.
So 100%. So guys, make sure you engage with us, whether it be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Drop us a message, like a personal message.
Instagram DMs. Like, tell us about your experiences. Tell us what you think of the podcast. Is any of it relatable? Do you take anything away from it? That would be more than appreciated, and we'd be happy to kind of engage back with you guys as well. That's the type of thing that we enjoy, so we can all kind of learn from each other as well, and have a bit of fun along the way as well. But
let's see if you make it through this 48-hour fast, if you're still living after this, and then we'll come back to you guys in the next episode.
We will. So thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, obviously drop us a comment as I just mentioned, and we will see you on episode 4.